Dueling Dragons was a dueling roller coaster located at Universal Studios Florida in Orlando, Florida. It opened on May 28, 1999 with the opening of the Islands of Adventure theme park, and was the first dueling coaster of its kind. The ride consisted of two separate roller coasters, named Fire and Ice, that traveled on intertwining tracks. The trains would come close to each other at various points during the ride, creating the illusion of the dragons dueling in mid-air. To tell the story of Dueling Dragons, we must first begin with the conception of Universal Studios' sister park right next door, Islands of Adventure. The idea for Islands of Adventure began to take shape in the mid-1990s, as Universal Parks and Resorts began to explore ways to expand its offerings in Florida. The company's original plan was to simply expand the existing Universal Studios Florida park, but as the scope of the project grew, it became clear that a separate park would be needed. The park was designed and built by a team of architects, engineers, and designers, including renowned theme park designer Mark Woodbury. Woodbury, who had previously worked on the design of Universal Studios Florida, served as the creative director for Islands of Adventure and oversaw the development of the park's 7 themed islands and signature attractions. Other key members of the Islands of Adventure development team included Thierry Koo, Senior Vice President of Universal Creative, and Dale Mason, Executive Vice President of Universal Creative. The park was constructed by a number of contractors and subcontractors, including Turner Construction Company and the Haskell Company. The park was designed to be a next-generation theme park, featuring cutting-edge technology and immersive environments that would set it apart from other parks. The park's 7 themed islands, Marvel Superhero Island, Toon Lagoon, Jurassic Park, The Lost Continent, Seuss Landing, Port of Entry, and Skull Island, were carefully crafted to provide a unique and immersive experience for guests. The construction of Islands of Adventure was a massive undertaking, with a budget of approximately $1 billion and a construction timeline of just over 2 years. The park's signature attractions, including the amazing adventures of Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk coaster, and Jurassic Park River Adventure, and of course, Dueling Dragons. The creation of Dueling Dragons started in 1997. 1997 was a significant year for Universal Studios, as the company was in the midst of a major expansion and renovation of its Florida theme park, Universal Studios Florida. Here are some of the key developments that occurred at Universal Studios in 1997. Construction began on several major new attractions, including Dueling Dragons, Men in Black, Alien Attack, and Islands of Adventure, a brand new theme park that would eventually open in 1999. The park also underwent a major renovation of its original attraction, the Universal Studios Florida Studio Tour, which was rebranded as the Universal Studios Florida Production Studio Tour and updated with new special effects and features. Universal Studios Florida also began experimenting with new seasonal events and festivals, such as Halloween Horror Nights, which debuted in 1991 but became increasingly popular and elaborate throughout the 1990s. The park continued to expand its selection of licensed intellectual properties, with the addition of attractions based on popular franchises such as Twister, Terminator 2, 3D, and the Men in Black film series. The coaster was designed by Swiss roller coaster manufacturer Bolliger & Mabillard and was themed after 2 dueling dragons, one representing fire and the other ice. The ride was located in the Lost Continent section of the park and was one of the main attractions in that area. The design and construction of Dueling Dragons was a complex process that involved extensive planning and engineering. The ride's layout was carefully crafted to create the illusion of 2 dragons dueling in midair, with each coaster representing a different dragon, one of fire and one of ice. Construction of the coaster began in 1998 and involved the installation of over 3,000 feet of steel track, as well as a variety of support structures and other ride components. The coaster's trains, which were custom designed for the ride, were also installed during this time. The Ingenieurbüro Stengel, a German roller coaster company, also helped design the coaster. The design for Dueling Dragons was a collaborative effort between Universal Creative, the in-house design and development arm of Universal Parks and Resorts, and Bolliger & Mabillard, B&M, the Swiss roller coaster manufacturer that built the ride. The exact individuals involved in the design of Dueling Dragons are not publicly known, but it is likely that a team of engineers, architects, and designers from both Universal Creative and B&M worked together to create the ride's layout, theming, and special effects. According to some reports, The idea for the coaster was inspired by a Chinese legend about two dragons, one representing fire and the other representing water, who were locked in an eternal battle. This legend may have influenced the decision to theme the two coaster tracks as Dueling Dragons of Fire and Ice. Construction of Dueling Dragons began in 1997, with the installation of the coaster's massive supports and track pieces. The coaster's complex layout and intertwining tracks required careful planning and precise construction techniques to ensure that the two tracks would align perfectly throughout the ride. Once the coaster's supports and track were in place, work began on theming the ride to create the immersive environment of Dueling Dragons. This included the creation of dragon statues, elaborate queue areas, and other theming elements that helped to transport visitors to a fantastical world where they could ride on the backs of these mythical creatures. Once construction was complete, the ride underwent extensive testing and safety checks to ensure that it was safe and ready for operation. Dueling Dragons officially opened to the public on May 28, 1999, and quickly became a popular attraction at Universal Studios Florida. Dueling Dragons was marketed as a unique and thrilling ride experience that was unlike anything else at the time. Universal Studios Florida promoted the coaster heavily, emphasizing its groundbreaking design and the excitement of dueling roller coasters. The ride was also heavily themed, with elaborate dragon sculptures, theming, and special effects throughout the queue and ride experience. This theming helped to create a sense of immersion and adventure for riders, further enhancing the appeal of the ride. The stats of the Fire Dragon and Ice Dragon are slightly different despite being dueling tracks. The Fire Dragon stands at 125 feet with a drop of 115 feet and a speed of 60 miles per hour, and twisting through 5 different inversions, 2 Immelmans, 1 loop, and 2 corkscrews. The Ice Dragon stands at 125 feet as well and has a drop of 95 feet with a speed of 55 miles per hour, and also twisting through 5 inversions, 1 0G roll, a cobra roll, a loop, and 1 iconic loop. In 2010, Universal Studios Florida announced that Dueling Dragons would be permanently closed and replaced with a new ride called Dragon Challenge, which would be based on the Harry Potter series. The new ride would utilize the same coaster tracks but with a new storyline and theme. Dragon Challenge officially opened on June 18, 2010, and featured 2 different ride experiences, representing the Hungarian Horntail and Chinese Fireball dragons from the Harry Potter series. However, Dragon Challenge was also eventually closed in 2017 to make way for a new ride called Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, which opened in 2019. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and tune in for the next episode of Coaster Archives. Leave suggestions on what coaster we should look into next. See you again very soon.